Good morning. I'm the Rabbi Tommy Parker, President of the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation, The Way. We come to you this morning to talk to you about a very serious matter that we have in the communities in this country. The violence that is destroying our children at the hands of our children. I have visited myself and Minister Gaffney to LA, Los Angeles, 3 times to Chicago, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans. And we took the trip by car so we could drive into those communities and talk to the children about the violence and to ask them, what can we do to stop the violence? To a person, when we asked them that question, there were 4 things that the children said to us. The causes of the violence. Number 1 was the removal of prayer from school. Number 2 was too many fathers are not actively engaged in their children's lives. 3, children having children. And 4, idleness and unemployment among our youth. We can fix this. God has given us the ability to save our children. Let me tell you how I know. When we come back off our trip, we ask God in prayer, what do we do? How do we get started? One of our sisters at the time had a big ant bed in her front yard. It was a little sugar ants, we call them in Texas, sugar ants, little baby red ants. And she had a problem coming into the house. They just get all into your cupboard, every place. So I went to the hardware store and I asked the hardware attendant to give me the best ant poison he had for this situation. He sold me a can of the most expensive brand he had. And the instructions said you're supposed to put over the ant bed. Looks like little food particles. And these little ants are supposed to take this into the den with them. And it's supposed to kill them up. So that evening we poured it all over, sprinkled all over the ant bed. The next morning, I went out to see if the ants was taking the bait. To my surprise, there was not a single little sugar ant, little baby ant anywhere around. But these big red ants was there, the big fire ants. I said, my God, where did these come from? She didn't have a problem with these in her yard. And I looked closely, there was one ant picking up the poison, going back and forth, cleaning up the ant bed, taking up the poison that I had put down. I said, my God, they come to save the children. These ants, these adult ants, came to save the little ants, their children. I said, you mean to tell me these ants have the wisdom to save their kids and the courage, and we are the best of God's creation and we don't? At that moment, God's Spirit touched me, letting me know I've got to be the ant that's picking up the poison. That's the job He gave me. And that's what I'm here today to tell you. We're ready to go to work. We need y'all's support. We're the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation. Our Facebook is Tommy Parker, is our Facebook. Our website is www. T as in Tom, H as in Henry, E as in Edward, AAUUC.com. You can click on to that website, find the button that says donation button. We're 501c3, and you can make donations to help us stop the violence that's destroying our children. We got to stop waiting on the politicians to do it for us. We got to stop depending on the police to do it for us. This is what God gave us to do for us. We have everything that we need to save our children. I once believed, as we hear many leaders say, the children are our future. I used to believe that with my whole heart until God showed me what those ants did. God is our future. We're our children's future. And because we're not doing what we should do as adults in our neighborhoods, many of our children today don't even have a future. Because we depended on them for our future, and they depended on us for our future, for their future. The ants wise enough to know how to do it, to save their children. Don't we have the love and the courage to save ours? We can't be afraid of the drug dealers, the guns. They put fear in you in your neighborhoods where you're scared to stand up. While God has prepared me, I'm not afraid to stand up. I'll handle the poison. You support us. And we'll do it. We've been to Chicago 3 times this year to talk to the children to see what the problem was. Twice to LA, twice to New Orleans. This is our own personal research that God put us on so we can know what the problem is. And the kids in Chicago told us that God didn't love them. I said, what do you mean God don't love you? Sure, he loves you. He said, well, the ministers don't come in here and see about us. I said, baby, they're men. They're not God. God sent us all the way from Texas to see about you. God does love you. There's more to this than you understand. Just be patient. God's going to fix it. Now it's time for us to go to work, people. It's time for us to do what God has given us to do. We got everything we need. And he's given us the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation as an instrument from God. From God. This is from God for us to do what we need to do under this umbrella and fix everything that concerns us as a people. Everything. We can put prayer back in school. Because it teaches the dispute resolution that our children need to learn. We can fight that fight and win it. Because we're the only one that can file that lawsuit with a lawyer to represent me. God has given us that. If some lawyer out there that loves God wants to know more about what we're talking about, this lawsuit to put prayer back in school, contact me through the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation and we'll show you exactly what God has given us that will put prayer back in school. I filed that lawsuit in 1998, 99, and the judge dismissed it because I cannot practice law. Because I filed on behalf of the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation. They say I need to get an attorney to represent the African American Unified Umbrella Corporation. They said, the judge said we can refile it when we get that attorney. Won't y'all help us? Help us save our children. Help us stop this violence. This is our job, people. Isaiah 59 deals with everything that I'm talking about right now. In your Holy Bible, Isaiah 59, prophecy is what God is talking about that's happening right now in the life of his people. Read it. And ask God to give you understanding of it. And you will see what this is all about. This is no coincidence. This is no accident. This is God's prophecy being fulfilled. 400 years, people. It's time for us to stand up now. We've been beat down so long, we act like we can't stand up. Trust God. Turn back to God. Let's stand up for God, and God will stand up with us. So we can fix the things that's keeping us down. It's our responsibility. We have to save our children. We are their future. We are our children's future. God is ours. Thank you so much, and God bless you.